Reading the tale. Who will buy my onions? Long, long ago, there lived a poor but hard-working farmer. One day, while gathering firewood in the forest, he suddenly saw a crow carrying a small sparrow, about to eat it. Feeling pity for the helpless little bird, the farmer picked up a stone and threw it at the crow. Angry, the crow flew away, not forgetting to croak a threat that it would one day take revenge. After chasing the crow off, the farmer gently tended to the sparrow, warming it carefully in the palm of his hand. After a while, the sparrow regained consciousness. It fluttered weakly at first, then more strongly, and finally flew away. Relieved and happy, the farmer returned to his work. Not long after, the sparrow chirped joyfully as it flew back, carrying a tiny bottle. Before the farmer could recover from his surprise, the sparrow spoke. "This is a magical potion. It makes people more beautiful and causes things to grow larger. There is nothing like it in the human world. Please accept it as a token of my gratitude." With that, the sparrow flew off. The farmer hesitated, unsure whether to believe it, but curiosity got the better of him. He opened the bottle and took a sniff. The fragrance was wonderfully sweet. Laughing to himself, he thought, "I know what I can use this for," and carefully sealed it again. After returning home, he hung the bottle on a beam of the house. Soon after, busy with finding a wife, he gradually forgot all about it. His wife, like him, worked hard all year round and was dark-skinned and plain-looking, but the two loved each other deeply. One day, while her husband was out plowing the fields, she discovered the small bottle hanging from the beam. Curious, she climbed up, took it down, and opened it. A rich fragrance spread through the room. Thinking it was scented water, she happily boiled a large pot of bath water and poured the liquid from the bottle into it. Strangely enough, after bathing, she became fair and beautiful, hundreds of times more lovely than before. The bath water that flowed onto the nearby onion beds caused the onions to swell enormously, their bulbs as big as lime jars and their stalks as long as carrying poles. When evening came, the husband returned from the fields and was so stunned by the sight of his wife that he stood frozen until she spoke. Only then did he believe that the fairy-like beauty before him was truly his wife. When she mentioned the fragrant bottle, he suddenly remembered the sparrow and told her the whole story. From then on, he only wished to stay home with his wife, never leaving her side. But neglecting the fields would mean starvation, so he had no choice but to return to work. To ease his longing, he hung a painting of his wife by the edge of the field and gazed at it while working, unaware that the crow from long ago had been secretly watching him, smirking as it finally thought of a way to take revenge. One day, when the farmer was distracted, the crow swooped down, snatched the painting, and flew away. Though the farmer shouted and chased after it, the crow had already vanished. Knowing that the king of the land was a notorious womanizer, the wicked crow carried the painting to the capital and dropped it in the royal courtyard. Before long, it reached the king. At the first glance, he was utterly enchanted and immediately ordered his soldiers to find the woman in the painting and bring her to him. After days of searching in vain, the soldiers devised a plan. They announced everywhere, asking whether anyone had lost a painting of a very beautiful woman. The honest farmer fell into the trap and came forward. Guessing that he must know the woman, the soldiers followed him home, and there she was. Overjoyed, they seized his wife and dragged her to the capital, ignoring his desperate pleas. Taken into the palace, the woman neither spoke nor smiled, allowing no one near her. She withered like a flower deprived of sunlight, despite the king's attempts to please or threaten her. Strangely, even as she grew frail, her beauty remained heavenly, driving the king nearly mad with desire. Finally, in desperation, he proclaimed throughout the land that anyone who could make her smile would be rewarded with a high official rank. People flocked to the capital to try their luck, but not a single one succeeded. Meanwhile, the husband sat at home, grief-stricken. When news of the royal proclamation reached him, hope flickered once more. He went to the well, pulled up several onions as large as lime jars, tied them into a bundle, and carried them toward the capital. He walked tirelessly along dusty roads, by day shaded by trees, by night guided by gentle moonlight. Upon arrival, without resting, he went straight to the palace gates and cried out loudly, "Who will buy my onions? Long as a carrying pole, big as a lime jar. Who will buy my onions? Have pity on me." The wind carried his call to the woman's ears. She listened in silence, her face growing brighter with each word. At last, she told a maid, "Bring the onion seller to me." When she saw her husband, she smiled radiantly. The king was astonished by the enormous onions. Thinking she was amused by the strange onions and the man's cry, he suddenly decided to disguise himself as an onion seller to entertain her. He ordered the husband, "Put down the onions and take off your clothes at once." The king threw off his royal robe, put on the ragged clothes, and had the farmer teach him the onion seller's chant. Carrying the onions, he shouted and paraded back and forth before the woman. Seeing this, she burst into laughter. Delighted, the king acted even more foolishly. But earlier, she had secretly ordered the servants to release the dogs. Seeing the disguised king as a stranger, the dogs attacked and tore him to pieces. She then said to her husband, "Put on the royal robe and sit upon the throne." He did so at once. The ministers and court ladies bowed down in homage. From that day on, he became king and lived happily with his wife for the rest of their lives. Lessons from the story. Kindness will be rewarded. The farmer saved the sparrow, and in gratitude, it gave him the magical potion that changed his fate. Always do good without expecting repayment. Your kindness may return in unexpected and wonderful ways. Wisdom and cleverness overcome hardship. When faced with great danger, the farmer used intelligence rather than force. His wife's quick thinking and insight completed the plan. Calm thinking and ingenuity can help us overcome even the hardest situations. Inner beauty matters more than outer beauty. The wife's goodness and love never changed, even after she became beautiful. The king, obsessed only with appearance, paid a terrible price. True value lies not in looks, but in character and a kind heart.